When deadly storms strike, every second matters.
The roof was going, and this was more serious than we could have imagined.
Fox Weather is leading the charge in the digital era of live weather coverage.
I'm going to go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more,
Tonight,
guys.
we bring together a panel of world-class meteorologists and live streamers with a combined audience of millions. From the game changers.
This is a large and violent tornado.
Do not go outside looking for this. You are out of time.
To veterans with decades of experience earning your trust.
And there's your tornado warnings.
And when the storm is over, we unite to support and rebuild communities. We're diving into the future of live weather, where cutting-edge technology meets ground truth. This is Streaming Extreme.
Hello and welcome into Streaming Extreme. We've got an exciting conversation ahead of us. I'm Haley Meyer.
And I'm Ari Sarsalari, super stoked for this.
Yeah, this is going to be an incredible night. Tonight, we are meeting up with the biggest names in weather streaming. Starting off, Ryan Hall. Millions of people rely on him, a pioneer in the digital age of weather. Ryan began studying meteorology at Mississippi State, but eventually walked away from a degree to forge his own path, teaching himself the science and building Ryan Hall, y'all. And joining us out of Birmingham, Alabama, is James Spann. With a career spanning over 4 decades, James is a household name in the South. He's the chief meteorologist and founder of the new Alabama Weather Network. Spann made his mark during the historic weather event like the deadly 2011 tornado super outbreak. Next on our panel, David Reimer. David Reimer is the founder of Texas Storm Chasers. His vital weather information reaches even the smallest rural Texas communities. Reimer covers every type of weather the Lone Star State has to offer, from floods to ice storms and even wildfires. And last but not least, we've got Ben Luna here with us tonight. Ben is the president of the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel and launched the National Weather Network. He covers one of the most severe weather-prone areas in the country. Ben brought an advanced Doppler radar to his viewing area, which is a valuable tool for tracking storms.
Gotta love that. All right, now that the introductions are out of the way, I want to just kind of jump into why you guys do what you do, right? So obviously, and I'll start with Ryan here, like all of us clearly have a fascination with weather. I know that you're a huge weather geek. You've done a lot of storm chasing back in the day. What was it that eventually drew you toward like the communication side of things?
Well, I've always been interested in weather, and I've never been able to pinpoint why or like when it started. But it's just, I'm actually surprised whenever I talk to somebody and I'm like, oh, you're not constantly thinking about weather and obsessed with it. So I don't know what that is or why that is. But when I was in high school, I started my first weather website. I predicted school closings based off of National Weather Service data. I was trying to predict whether or not winter weather would close school for the next day in my district. Made a website for that, made discussions, even did live streams 15 years ago. And that got really popular. And that's what kind of solidified me, I guess, as the weather guy, I guess, on the communications side.
I love it. I mean, that's definitely why you're the most popular boy in school. You're always predicting when you get to have school off. James, I mean, you've often shared that your fascination with weather began long before you became a certified meteorologist, shaped in part growing up during Alabama's active 1970s. And I'm really interested on how those early experiences then influenced your passion and some of the lessons that you took from those formative years and how you then form it into your broadcasting style now.
So this is how old I am, okay? This is embarrassing, but I don't care. I graduated high school in 1974. Everybody on this panel, everybody should know what major event occurred in April 1974. The super outbreak of tornadoes. At the time, largest outbreak of tornadoes on record in the country. And I was given 3 days off from high school to go volunteer. I had a ham radio license. We didn't have cell phones in 1974. No Gram, Talk, Facebook, none of that, no communication. So we were critical. And I saw things that changed my life. I had night terrors for several months after seeing some of the things I saw in places like in Alabama. And so that really got me into this. And after 3 years as an electrical engineering major, I figured out you could actually do this for a living. Yeah. And I had the chance to finish it in the program at Mississippi State. And I've been doing this for 47 years. And to this day, I can't wait. I can't wait to wake up and do what I do.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a long time, and then just a total pioneer in the entire just realm of broadcasting, James. So I'm super excited to have you here with us. Let's talk with David Reimer here. I know you've done a lot of live coverage, just a huge variety of weather, obviously, down in Texas. You get a lot of severe weather, but you've also done a lot of stuff like wildfires, ice storms, et cetera. Maybe you can talk about like some of your most dramatic moments or what really got you into this.
Absolutely. We get wildfires, hurricanes, winter storms, take your pick, and we get it. All you have to do is wait an hour in the day. I got into weather as a child. I was born in southern New Jersey, grew up and experienced the blizzard of 93 and the blizzard of 96 in the Northeast. Those who grew up along the I-95 corridor in the Mid-Atlantic remember those well. First week I moved to Texas in late 96, early 97, we had a supercell drop, baseball-sized hail on my house, and it scared the pants off me. And for years and years into middle school, I was petrified of thunderstorms. So naturally, of course, I became obsessed with them. And with that, I became the weather kid. Even in kindergarten, growing up, I knew I was going to be a weatherman. And, you know, with that photo there with the legendary Troy Duncan, WFA in Dallas in 2000. And that passion grew into knowledge. I started storm chasing in the late 2000s. And from that, in the digital era, really began to communicate weather hazards. And not only outward, but allowing folks to communicate hazards and information back to us. We had a wildfire outbreak in September 2011. Bastrop County alone, that's about 30 miles east of Austin, Texas. We lost nearly 1,500 structures. Multiple people died. And there were so many fires that day that we were able to use our brand as a way to help folks communicate, find shelter, not only for themselves, but agricultural as well. So I've just been blessed, really, is what I've been able to do over the last 15 to 16 years by helping out my fellow Texans and helping folks out.
Yeah, I mean, the spirit of the Lone Star State goes strong. I grew up in Austin, Texas, and there was a moment where wildfires literally engulfed my entire neighborhood. We had to evacuate. Texas really sees it all. So you're doing incredible work out there. Ben, next question directed to you. I mean, you've covered countless storms and you've witnessed their real firsthand impacts, often probably affecting your friends and family on the local scale. Which event stands out to you the most in your tenure? And how do you balance sometimes that fascination with weather as a meteorologist, but also trying to convey the seriousness of a severe weather event?
Well, you know, for us at Tennessee Valley Weather, I grew up in the only county in the state of Tennessee that's experienced an F5 tornado. I was 12 years old, and that was the moment that I said, okay, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And jump ahead to 2024, I think our finest moment here was the May 8th outbreak, where we really made an impact in saving lives, communicating the urgency of a tornado, which at the top of the show, we helped to install a dual pole X-band radar in our community that serves a good portion of our viewing area. We were able to use that data in addition to ground truth reports to identify a deadly EF3 tornado that was on the ground in one of the fastest growing cities in Middle Tennessee. And then within a few hours, another powerful tornado was on the ground. And we were able to give the alert to folks that were watching us that day to that's the moment that you really needed to exercise everything that we've preached, that people like James Spann have really pushed over the years to find that safe place and go to that safe place immediately. And so this whole thing exists where hopefully people they won't die needlessly in storms.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all do life-saving work, and I think that's what really drives people to be in this industry for the extended periods of time. I mean, we've got people with 40 years of experience. But now that we've got the introductions put aside for a second, we want to break the ice even further with a lightning round.
Quick ones.
Yeah, quick ones. Only 1 second or 1 sentence answers.
1 second. That would be tough.
That would be hard, especially given how we all know how to talk. We'll start with Ryan, and then we'll go around the horn with each individual question. So the first one directed at you guys is the longest stretch you've been live for a given event.
think for me, it's got to be 18 to 20 hours. There was a little 30-minute break in the middle there, but it was probably during one of the hurricanes like Helene.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's it.
All right, James?
18 hours, Hurricane Ivan, 2004.
Right off the noggin. You knew it. All right,
Perfect.
David?
10.5 hours, tornado outbreak.
Wow. All right, Ben?
We've had a couple rounds with winter weather and tornadoes, I think between 15 and 18 hours.
Whew. All right, here's the next one. Worst forecast bust you've ever had. Go, Ryan.
Probably this winter storm in the south that's coming up.
We had to squeeze it in there somewhere.
James.
So January 1982, and again, this is before everybody on the show was born. We had a horrific, catastrophic ice storm. The forecast of the event was okay, other than the timing. It started 8 hours before we expected. People got trapped. It was a nightmare. Ice storm 1982, horrible.
Nice.
Bust.
David, how about you?
Late November 2013, North Texas forecasted a major winter storm, sat at 33 degrees for the event.
Nice. How about you, Ben?
I'm going to go with a winter storm event we had a few years ago. Got a call from a director of schools in the area. He said, Ben, where's my 9 inches of snow? And I said, not here.
Not here.
You'd have to go somewhere else to find that.
Yeah. All right. Next one for you guys. How often are you recognized in public? Ryan?
Yeah, at least 2 or 3 times a week. It just depends on how often I go out in public.
Every day, as long as I'm in an elementary school. If they're under the age of 12, they love me. They know who I am, especially third graders.
I love
it's a
it.
middle demographic I struggle with.
David?
Smaller town here, so I'm recognized pretty frequently going out.
Imagine. Ben?
I'm like David. I'm in a small area, and so I get stopped at the grocery store often to say, hey, when's it going to snow again? So
Isn't it interesting how that works? I feel like when I was in local news, like you get recognized all the time, and then you move up to national, and you're like, hey, here I am at the big time and everything, all these eyes on you, and like nobody ever recognizes
No one ever
you.
knows
Once
who
in a
you are.
long, long while. Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us for the very first part of our Streaming Extreme setup. Don't go anywhere, because we are just now getting warmed up.
This is a strong tornado. Look at the freaking vortex, the horizontal vortex.
Ahead, our eyes in the storm. The storm trackers who weigh risk and responsibility to capture nature's most extreme weather. Live. That's next on Streaming Extreme.
The West is our canvas, the flag our guide. Golf belongs here. This game reminds us of who we are. Steadfast, grateful, free. Here's to the country we love and the game that brings us together. We are straight down. We are American.
Hey there. Hey. Hey there, how are you? I'm with Disabled American Veterans. I was wondering if you had a quick minute to thank America's veterans for their service and sacrifices.
Of course, why not?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Sure.
All right, hey, well, come on in here. I'm just gonna hit record on this.
I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't even think of the words to say of how grateful I am.
I just want to tell you guys how much you appreciate it.
But most importantly, I want to thank you for your courage and bravery.
Wow. Just thank you.
Someone here who'd like to say something to you.
Oh my God, you guys are awesome.
Someone has something they want to say to you.
Goodness.
How's it going?
Oh. So I just want to let you know how much you appreciate it. How much you appreciate it.
I just feel honored for everything you've done.
Thank you for myself. Thank you for everybody.
I get to live every day, in peace because of you.
A lot of people thank us, but we want to take the time to thank you, honestly, for giving back. And when you give to DAV, you are supporting veterans like Dave, myself. So thank you so much for your.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
You can say thank you to our nation's heroes by calling the number on your screen right now and giving your monthly support of only $19.
Say thank you by going to helpdav.org right now and give just $19 a month. When you do, we'll send you this DAV t-shirt as a thank you and a reminder that you support those who serve.
Please call or go online to helpdav.org right now. Your support says thank you to our nation's disabled American veterans.
My daughter's a content creator making videos featuring her artwork that thousands of people watch online. So one day she said she got a message from a cute boy in a hoodie and wanted to know if she'd be interested in a collab and sent her a link. After she tried to open this link, Guardio blocked the link and then sent me a notification and let me know that my daughter might be in trouble. I can't constantly monitor my daughter to make sure she's being safe online, but Guardio can.
Check if you and your loved ones are safe online. Go to Guardio.com now.
Hey, welcome back to Streaming Extreme. We're here with the top weather live streamers in a new age of weather coverage. These guys are on board with the modern way of doing things. You can take your phone into the tornado shelter and watch for free. That's kind of the idea. So, warning polygons from the National Weather Service, obviously very important, and they tell us part of the story. But when you can actually show people an image or a video of ongoing destructive events like a tornado, it really just hammers home the urgency of the situation.
Our Fox Weather storm trackers, Brandon Kopic and Corey Gherkin, they help us here at Fox Weather to deliver the vital ground truth. Here are some of the edge-of-your-seat moments our storm trackers have captured over the years.
Violent tornado, guys! Violent tornado!
Corey says he's got significant damage. It sounds like there's damage coming across from the pulse.
You can just watch this as it happens. This is about as good of a view of a tornado as you'll ever get.
Right in front of us, guys. Holy structures impacted. Structures impacted. We got homes getting hit right now. Outbuilding. Everybody get in there quickly.
Yeah, there's another freaking house missing right here.
Oh, we got multiple homes hit to our south.
Unfortunately, it just tells us there's a more volatile environment ongoing right now.
We're getting hit by it. Yeah, tornado, we're getting hit by it.
Oh! Freddie, it's going through the windshield. I repeat, it's going through the windshield. Tornado! We got another tornado to the north. We got a wedge. 2 tornadoes on the ground right behind.
1033 code 0. Barnesville got hit. It's bad. We got significant damage. We got to go into search and rescue mode.
Now, just recently, I've been really trying to dive into the storm chasing space, and I've been lucky enough to go out with Brian and Corey, and it's so rewarding when you actually get to feel that cool downdraft, reading the storm visually with the blue tinge, that teal showing you the hail core, and just seeing how a storm evolves in real time while also being able to track it on radar. That experience really drives home how much teamwork really goes into storm tracking and your quick decision making. And those same tools then translate in the studio when you're trying to understand the dynamics of a severe weather event. So, David, especially through Texas Storm Chasers, I mean, you've built this team of content creators, storm chasers, and meteorologists, and they all share real-time information through every kind of weather event that Texas has to offer. We know there's a lot. Can you talk about just that collaborative network and what goes into your broadcast with that ground truth?
Absolutely. You know, we can talk all we want about what a storm is doing on radar, but at the end of the day, folks want second source verification. And that's where folks out in the field, storm chasers, like all can bring that via live video streams, sending back real-time images and data. And that is what really helps to bring everything together and help give the public the actual verification they need to take shelter, because that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to go out there and show what's going on in the world just to, you know, get 15 minutes of fame. It's to help people. So to do that, you have to have people you trust. You have to have people that know what they're doing and can stay safe while doing it.
All right, let me go to James for this one. I know throughout your career, you've been able to kind of watch UGC, or user-generated content, become a big part of weather coverage. And, as we all know, it's like a really massive help in telling the story when the viewers actually send you visuals of what's going on the ground. And can you think of a particular time or two where your audience really kind of fueled the coverage? I know you guys have a big network of cameras as well, but I'm talking more like UGC.
No, that's critical. And there's some negatives about social media, but by golly, there's some positives about social media. The amount of content we receive, whether it's videos, photographs, or just simple reports, it's a game changer. People want, as you've heard from David, people want to see the weather. And listen, I cannot have cameras everywhere. I can't have chasers everywhere. But by golly, everybody has a phone. And they send these images and videos to us. We can turn that around and show it on the air. And people will be seeking confirmation. You just can't stand in front of radar for 8 hours anymore. People want visually interesting presentations. And by that user-generated content and being able to show that immediately, turn it around, it's a game changer. People will actually see, wait, that is a tornado. There's been damage, and I'm going to a safe place right now. It's absolutely critical. We really saw that March 15th of last year. We had several EF3s. We had loss of life, but it really, really was evident then.
Yeah, I mean, we are truly enthralled in this digital era, and people really need to see things visually. But it's not just visual ground truth and photos, UGC, but it's also how we present the information. So, Ben, I'm really curious, and through your National Weather Network, you use immersive graphics, 3D maps, you've got local overlays, advanced modeling. I mean, you've got this whole experience. How are these tools helping to improve your broadcast, but also helping the viewer understand what's going on to make their real-time decisions to seek shelter?
Well, coming into this in a relatively small area, especially compared to the others on the panel this evening, it's driving down as local as you can, but you want to be as accurate as possible for your entire area. And that was one thing that led us to say, hey, we're in a radar gap, and we've got to really push ahead with this technology to be able to deliver that critical life-saving information to our viewers, because you've got to treat them in a tiny community just as much as they're in a big city. And it's offering that same level of respect and just driving that point home of, again, we care. We want to be able to keep you safe, keep you informed. And that means investing in the right tools, investing in radar, camera, a chaser network as well, all to keep people safe and informed. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, Ben, I'm glad to hear the radar get some love, because I do remember working in Huntsville, and that's a really annoying radar gap there between HTX and the radar down in Columbus. So that's like super critical stuff. And I know we're focused in here a lot on the video and the UGC. Let me go to Ryan for this one here. One thing that I've noticed during your coverage, and I love watching your stream, by the way, I mean, you have an absolutely massive library, live chaser feeds, live cameras. You got your huge audience that's constantly sending you pictures and videos during your coverage. I mean, all that, of course, in addition to the radar, everything looks really uniquely modern. You've got the warnings up, you've got the maps. I mean, watching that feed really kind of becomes like an experience for the viewer, and I think that's part of your success. You've been a pioneer of using technology, unique tools during your broadcasts. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about how all that comes together during a stream. Is it like too much sometimes, or do you have a handle on all of it?
I think that we've got a pretty good handle on it. Pretty much every time we go live, I think about what could be easier, what could we have done better, how could we have made this more interactive or better for the viewer. And it always comes back to technology. That's always the answer, it seems. I got into this because I like clouds and like weather, but I've turned into somewhat of a software developer. I have to figure out how to push the right buttons to make the computer do the right thing so that, the stream is a good enough product for the amount of people that are watching. And every day, that's what I work on. If we're not live, we're working on trying to make the live stream better. And, there's definitely been some hiccups. There's been some times where it's been overwhelming, but we're getting it down. We're getting it down.
Can you real quick explain the y'all bot to people who don't know what that is?
Yeah, so Yalba is the amalgamation of my obsession here recently with trying to understand this new AI technology that's coming out, and everybody's trying to figure out. Every time a new model or something is released by one of these big AI companies, the first thing I do is I throw everything I know at it about the weather and about how users interact with weather online, and I'm like, how can we use this to inform people, and how can we use it not to generate images and funny cartoons and stuff like that, but like how can we actually potentially use this to save lives? And then whatever works is what Yalba is. So we're constantly fine-tuning it and trying to make a really good system, and it's live on YouTube 24/7.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool stuff. Yeah, the AI, it's like get in or get left behind, I kind of feel like.
Yeah, I mean, the digital era will quickly leave you behind if you're not consistently on top of the latest developments, which is why we developed this panel to really have a roundtable of what's going on now and what's yet to come.
All right, 100%. So you guys stick around. Up next, balancing fear and fascination. We're going to talk about the future of forecasting in the age of AI. We're going to get into some of the meaty stuff too, right?
This is what everybody's been waiting for,
thumbnails, hype versus truth, all that stuff. The gloves are coming off. There's going to be some violence in the C block. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
The West is our canvas, the flag our guide. Golf belongs here. This game reminds us of who we are. Steadfast, grateful, free. Here's to the country we love and the game that brings us together. We are straight down. We are American.
You play by the rules. But things happen. Prices climb faster than your paycheck. And every month, a new surprise. Little by little, the debt adds up. So how do you face it? One step at a time. It starts with a call, then a plan. And just like that, you're back on track. With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team in your corner. We work directly with your creditors, so you pay less than you owe, in less time than you think. When debt happens, we're here to help you take action. And this is where your new chapter begins. Call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how quickly you could become debt-free.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, we get you printed, distributed, and sold on Amazon, Apple iTunes, and bookstores. We'll even promote your book.
Call 1-800-712-9115 or scan the QR code.
My daughter's a content creator making videos featuring her artwork that thousands of people watch online. So one day she said she got a message from a cute boy in a hoodie and wanted to know if she'd be interested in a collab and sent her a link. After she tried to open this link, Guardio blocked the link and then sent me a notification and let me know that my daughter might be in trouble. I can't constantly monitor my daughter to make sure she's being safe online, but Guardio can.
Check if you and your loved ones are safe online. Go to Guardio.com now.
We had Cooper for approximately 3 days, and we ended up taking him to the emergency vet as he racked up a bill of about $3,700. We quickly learned how expensive these bills can be.
Your major vet bills are not covered by what you can put away monthly. Our friends are like, we put that money away every month, and that's great until you have like a $12,000 vet bill.
Dogs do get sick, and when that time comes, we have the peace of mind that Fetch is there to support us.
Get paid back up to 90% of vet bills with Fetch Pet Insurance. Get your free quote at fetchpet.com.
All right, everybody, the moment you've been waiting for. Welcome back into Streaming Extreme. We are here with Ryan Hall, James Spann, David Reimer, and Ben Luna on the future of forecasting.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun this block. I think we'll do a little more conversation. I know we're doing kind of like interviews with everybody to some degree here, but I want to get into, something that's just always been a bit of an issue in the weather communication business, just this idea that you've got to draw attention to something in order to get clicks, and you got to get clicks in order to get people to get the information. So there's a lot of back and forth that goes on this. I'm going to start with James Spann here. As somebody who's made the shift to digital throughout your career, you've been at the forefront of it too, by the way. We all know that part of that game is some level of attention grabbing. But we also know that you in particular, you're very anti-hype, you're very, loud about it. And, obviously you have a huge following. So I want to know, how do you balance out the idea of getting eyes on your info while maintaining the trust of your viewers at the same time?
Well, we have a hyperbole problem. Excessive hyperbole, it's killing us in the weather enterprise. And listen, we can't control what these jabronis do, in their basement. They post the 2-week, blizzard maps, the 2-week hurricane maps, tornado outbreak. So they're in it for monetization on social media. We can't control that. But by golly, in the weather enterprise, we can control what we do. I'm involved in an ethics panel at the AMS meeting here in Houston in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait for that. But we've got to get this thing under control. Listen, people, I believe, are looking for straight shooters. They're sick of the hyperbole. They're tired of every 2 weeks there's a snowstorm. Every 2 weeks there's a blizzard. How about being a straight shooter? I promise, if you're a professional meteorologist, straight shooter, you will be rewarded for that. People are seeking that. They're sick and tired of this constant hyperbole. And I'll chase one more rabbit here. You got some big broadcast groups, okay? Yeah. They're mandating that their local meteorologists every week, 2-3 times a week, call it code red, weather emergency, first alarm, all this stuff. When there's fog, when it might rain a 1/4 of an inch. When a dog goes to the bathroom on a bush, that is not a code red weather emergency. It brings on weather fatigue, and that's going to kill people because they hear it over and over. What happens when you really do have a weather emergency? We got to stop this and get a grasp on it.
Are we going to talk smack about consultants on here? Because I could get on board with that. That sounds fun.
Those local news consultants.
Let's go.
Never let them know that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, always about those big headlines. Grab the viewer. And I think, Ryan, you have somewhat of an opposing view, but still an interesting take on this because you are in this digital saturated era, so many people just throwing out whatever kind of weather information. And sometimes the calmer messaging, unfortunately, does get ignored. And the urgent, more dramatic framing, that's what grabs the attention. So what is your take on how you put together the thumbnails for your broadcasts? And do you play that balance line? Personally, I think you do that great. But
I do too.
I'm just intrigued on what you think about when it comes to writing those thumbnails.
Well, I agree with everything that James just said. My least favorite part about my job is having to make a daggone thumbnail and a title for our videos and stuff. But it has to be done. Yeah. And every time we do it, we get a lot of data on what works and what doesn't. I think that the content inside of our videos is worth being seen, or I wouldn't make it. We put a lot of work into it. Meteorologist Andy Hill helps me come up with it. We read over a ton of SPC, WPC, and NWS discussions that whenever we're building out these videos and stuff, and we don't want that work to go to waste. And YouTube tells us every time we post a video what thumbnail works and what thumbnail doesn't. They actually let you upload multiple at a time, and we'll purposefully put a boring one on there or one that is less that doesn't lean as much on hyperbole, and nobody cares about those. So if the goal is really to spread the word of the Storm Prediction Center, National Weather Service, and WPC, why not use the data that we have that tells us to use the titles and thumbnails that people do want to click. So yeah, that's my take on that.
No, you make a good point.
Let me say one thing about Ryan. Hang on. Ryan has greatly improved from when he started. Yeah, some of that stuff was pretty bad, but let me tell you what, the improvement that he has made, it's tremendous. He is ethical. And a lot of these old school broadcasters get their back arched at Ryan. Here's an idea. Maybe learn from this guy. He's visually interesting. He has this massive audience. You're just stinking jealous. But I just want to say to Ryan, you have done an amazing job since you went on Weather Brains that first time of improving the quality of the content of those thumbnails. Really, I mean that. I'm not nice. I'm honest. Well, so I just wanted him to hear that from me.
I feel like it's a process of learning too, right? I mean, like you're going to go through the trials and tribulations. Like somebody that's just first starting out on YouTube, it's kind of a tough realization to come to. You're like, oh man, I do need to have some level of, like, if you want to call it hype or whatever, like whatever it is. I mean, there has to be some kind of attention grabbing thumbnail. And for the people like Ryan, like a lot of these people that are on there that are very ethical. It's like it's a conundrum, isn't it? Like that's kind of just part of the game in the digital space. You guys got any thoughts on this, David or Ben?
Well, I think we just saw the old school and the new school become the current school. I think with what just happened there.
I love it.
You know, I was reflecting on this yesterday. I had a conversation with a dear friend of mine, and we were talking about the whole the current broadcast weather wars, if you will. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, and back then it was neat because television companies, television stations competed by saying our team is the most educated. We have the most crew members with a master's degree, or we've got the most advanced Doppler radar. It was technology. It was stuff that really improved the storytelling of severe weather or day-to-day weather. Now it's who has the darkest red graphics and who can scare you the most.
Yeah.
And that's where it's really, to me, it's become, because people, sometimes you do have to do a little bit extra to get their attention. But I mean, we have a policy here that we try to maintain to say, hey, if we are using red graphics, which are very, very, very rare, then there is a very, very bad day happening.
Yeah. I mean, James, I think you do it well with just your look on TV. You've got the suspenders and the sleeves rolled up. That's when you know. You don't need a thumbnail. You just need the look, and you've got it. And so I think it's really interesting, too. How do we then combat the overhypers, the big thumbnails as meteorologists, and bring people maybe back to reality of what's really happening? And maybe, David, you have a good take on this too, just given with your local market. Do you find that they feed into that hype? Are they in it, or do they rely on baldy in chief, such as yourself?
I think the persona I've built, being baldy in chief, one, I'm not a degreed meteorologist. And I'm not going to ever sit here and tell you I am. That's why I call myself baldy in chief, because I'm not, meteorologist David Reimer. I'm not. No, my job now is to fight the hype. And to be completely clear, I'm not talking about Ryan. 4 or 5 years ago, I would have. Now, I watched Ryan probably dozens of hours in 2025. What Ryan has done is amazing. He truly does a public service. Most of my time now is combating hype. And to be honest, it's not coming from, weather influencers as much anymore. I'm having to fight hype coming from broadcast meteorologists posting raw model data 10, 11, 12 days out at 1 a.m, calling out for some snow, Arctic outbreak or nonsense. So my issue now more is from the traditional broadcast field merging into digital and trying to capture some of that audience the same way they spent years, huffing and puffing about.
Yep.
So I'm very happy to hear James is going to be part of a panel that is going to work towards a solution because, I think the pendulum has shifted. I have more issues now with hype coming from the broadcast field than the 15-year-olds sitting in their basement.
David, they've sold their soul. They've sold their soul. Everybody, mostly, I would listen. As a disclaimer, I am, and I think everybody here is monetized on social media. We all are, okay? And if you post a 2-week map of a hurricane, a Category 5 making a landfall at Galveston, 2 weeks away, everybody will share it. The engagement off the chart. You might get $500 for that one post, where it's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It means nothing. And they've sold their soul. And again, we can't control these knuckleheads that do this, in their basement. They're content engagement farms. Well, but if you have an AMS CBM, you got no business doing that. You know better. And shame on you for doing that. And you better stop. And again, we're going to make some changes where you might not have that AMS CBM anymore.
So I'm going to push back just a little bit, just to play devil's advocate here. Like, what is the actual line? Like, what, there are different ways of posting things, and you can have the communication along with it. Do you think if anybody just posts a map of, say, the 18Z GFS from the other night when it was showing the massive snowstorm in the Ohio Valley or whatever it was, 40 or 50 inches of snow. But here's the thing. A lot of the times they will post the picture of it and say, not a forecast in caps. Like, is that okay? Is there some kind of line there? Like on my show last night, I compared the European and GFS. So the GFS model that was showing the big snowstorm in the Northeast, even though I was saying, you know, hey, look, I don't think this is going to happen. It's very unlikely, but I just wanted to compare. I'm just curious, like, where you think the line is.
Well, I mean, Ari, I think that's interesting, too, because to a point, you have to acknowledge what the GFS or the Euro, whatever, is spitting out there, because people will get that information out.
Yeah.
But you have to, at the same time, then frame it in your own way. So, I mean, Ben, David, I mean, anybody really, what is your motto on this? To acknowledge some of that that's going on, and then also to reframe it in your own way?
I think, you know, what we try to do is we come out and we're straight out honest with people. And, you know, like what Ari said, we'll do a lot of comparisons back and forth and say, you know, the Euro is showing this, the GFS, or in some runs, you know, we get into the high resolution models, and, you know, we'll start to talk about the HER or whatnot. And we'll say, you know, this is what this is showing. You may have seen this on social media. That's not correct. Here's what we really think is going to happen. That also ties into longevity.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot of people who are doing this in traditional television that are trying to get followers, get their numbers up, because they're only going to be there for a short time, maybe a couple of years, and then they're gone. And we're forgetting that, you know, like again, to go back to Spann, he's done this for almost 5 decades. I've been around here for 25 years in this general area. It's longevity, and it's earning the trust of people to say, that guy or gal, they're not going to leave me wrong.
And, you know, Ryan, I want to direct this to you. Like, how do you earn their trust?
Our biggest thing is making sure that the content, the long form content, the live streams, the stuff beyond the thumbnail is really solid and very, I would call myself a straight shooter, like James was just saying. I think we talk directly to the audience. I think we've built trust with people, and we wouldn't be successful if we didn't. Like, posting crazy thumbnails and stuff like that works for a little bit. But I don't think people would keep coming back to our live streams and stuff if we were just constantly saying and doing outrageous stuff. So I think that like we've been talking about, like what we're trying to do, the whole industry is trying to do this right now, is we're trying to find that line that you were talking about. Yeah. The line is blurry right now.
It is.
It's becoming a little bit more visible, I guess you can say, as time goes on. You know, and I think we're going to eventually figure it out. But it's a little blurry right now.
I think, you know, just one thing to wrap this up. I think it's okay for it to be a little bit blurry, because that leaves some room for the communicator to have some skill with whatever's going on there. So anyway.
Yeah, I think at this point, we're all starting to kind of come to a consensus, a meeting of the minds. And I think this is a really great start, and sharing with the people who are watching at home, likely Fox Weather fans and fans of all your individual networks. So we've got an amazing conversation going.
We're
still going to keep this one going at the end of this break. So ahead, we still are diving deeper into AI. We'll be right back with more Streaming Extreme. Stay with us.
Dexcom G7 is one of the easiest ways to take better control of your diabetes. This small wearable replaces finger sticks, lowers A1C, and it's covered by Medicare.
Not managing your diabetes really affects your health for the future. The older you get, the more complications you're going to see.
I knew I couldn't ignore my diabetes anymore because it was causing my eyesight to go bad.
For my patients, getting on Dexcom G7 is the biggest eye-opener they've ever had.
I couldn't believe how easy it was. This small wearable sends my glucose numbers right to my phone or my receiver. With just a glance, I can see if I'm going high, low, or steady, so I can make quick decisions in the moment.
Now I'm a superstar. My A1C is 5.7.
My A1C has never been lower.
No other CGM system is more affordable for Medicare patients than Dexcom G7. Don't wait. Call now and talk to a real person.
My daughter's a content creator making videos featuring her artwork that thousands of people watch online. So one day she said she got a message from a cute boy in a hoodie and wanted to know if she'd be interested in a collab, and sent her a link. After she tried to open this link, Guardio blocked the link and then sent me a notification and let me know that my daughter might be in trouble. I can't constantly monitor my daughter to make sure she's being safe online, but Guardio can.
Check if you and your loved ones are safe online. Go to Guardio.com now.
You play by the rules. But things happen. Prices climb faster than your paycheck. And every month, a new surprise. Little by little, the debt adds up. So how do you face it? One step at a time. It starts with a call, then a plan. And just like that, you're back on track. With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team in your corner. We work directly with your creditors, so you pay less than you owe, in less time than you think. When debt happens, we're here to help you take action. And this is where your new chapter begins. Call or visit nationaldebtrelief.com to find out how quickly you could become debt-free.
The West is our canvas, the flag our guide. Golf belongs here. This game reminds us of who we are. Steadfast, grateful, free. Here's to the country we love and the game that brings us together. We are straight down. We are American.
All right, welcome back to Streaming Extreme. I'm Ari Sarsalari along with Haley Meyer. We got a great panel tonight. A lot of people that I've got a lot of respect for, that at least one of them I've worked with before in the past, and the others I've watched their stuff for a long time. We're having a great conversation before the break. We want to just kind of continue it, talking about trust with your viewers. You know, there's kind of this blurry line sometimes between, you know, like hyped things, and, you know, there's a lot of, you know, smaller groups that post things that catch a lot of steam, and then we have to kind of deal with it because people are asking. I hear it from my wife all the time. Hey, did you hear about the snowstorm that's coming in here in a week? I'm like, oh, brother, geez,
the amount of texts I'm sure all of these meteorologists get about what's going on in their area.
Totally a mess. You know, as far as trust goes, this is one thing I wanted to hit on real quick. How do you guys handle busted forecasts? I asked you, like, what your biggest busts were earlier. This is something I feel really strongly about because I really think, like, you can build a bond with people by showing humility and taking responsibility sometimes, kind of walk them through what went wrong with the forecast. You know, you hear these local news consultants all the time and news directors, they say, no, we don't want to focus in on what we got wrong, but
don't use the B word.
Yeah, don't use the B word and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we can start with you, Ryan. I don't know if you've had a big one in the last few years, and have you ever had to kind of eat crow a little bit?
Yeah, of course, we all have. And what I've started doing is I start forecasting the bust. Right? Like I try not to, leading up to an event, make it seem like anything is exact or perfect with the forecast. And I think that's done a really good job of managing people's expectations and also building trust with people. If you're honest with them and you say, hey, here's this big suite of models, here's all the things that could happen. To be honest with you, nobody knows. Tomorrow we'll know a little bit more. The next day we'll know a little bit more. And then when we go live, we'll know exactly what's going on. But my job here is to guide you with the information that we have to get there. And I'm not Nostradamus or anything like that. So
yeah, do any of you guys have a good story where you've kind of taken responsibility for one and actually gotten a lot of positive response about it?
The Great Snowmageddon of 2014. Does
Yes.
anybody recall that here? The Great
Absolutely.
Snowmageddon of 2014. This was Atlanta. This was Birmingham, okay? I missed it. And let me just say this. There's a lot of things we don't know. Humility is missing in this science. You've got a lot of pinheads that think they know everything. We don't know a lot of things, okay? The older I get, the more I understand we don't know. But for Snowmageddon, we had a flash freeze. I missed it. And where I am at this latitude, typically when it snows, it's 30, 35 degrees. It was 18. The ice accretion process on roads, as we learned that day, is radically different. So we didn't expect any big deal, and everybody left. Some people got stuck and stranded for over 10, 12 hours, running out of gas, getting cold and hungry. They're burning anything they could burn on the side of the road to stay warm. And I missed it. And I wrote an apology, a public apology on a blog, which was kind of the main thing back then. And, you know, people really did appreciate that. And look, I hang out in Dollar Generals. All of you guys are big shots. You know, y'all have leather-bound books, you know, rich mahogany, all that. I hang out in Dollar Generals where people are that we serve. And they told me, you know, I really appreciate that. I was PO'd. I was not happy. You ruined a lot of things in my family, but I really appreciate that honesty. So I think Honesty and transparency is critical, and people will appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think humility is huge. And as we've all come to find out, there are certain people that can lack that in this industry. And so being able to be forthcoming with what we did right and also what we did wrong and how we can improve in the future. Building off of this trust component, David, I'm really intrigued by how much trust you've built within smaller communities. Because I will say, working at Fox Weather, we are covering the entire nation. And in big outbreaks, it's so hard to balance where to go, where to be, one tornado here, another down south. And so for you, what is that balancing act like? And how have you garnered the trust of small communities during these big time outbreaks?
Well, during big time outbreaks, I'm going to focus on the most threatening storms. If it's a tornado warning in the middle of Limestone County near Mahia versus, golf ball size hail in the middle of Dallas, I'm going to focus on the tornado warning. So that's something I've done over the years, and people have come to respect it.
Yeah, I want to actually transition this a little over to AI right now. Like, this is obviously the age of AI. A lot of us, or at least some of us in here, grew up during the time of the internet. That seemed to happen pretty quick. This is happening exponentially, even faster, I think, than the internet. And we're already starting to see a little bit. I think it's going to get worse, but pictures and videos during severe weather events. We've all seen the one before where somebody reposts a video from 10 years ago and then it makes the rounds. How are you guys combating that? Have you run into any of it? I mean, anybody can feel free to jump in on this.
We actually had a couple AI images from one of our recent severe thunderstorms that got sent to us, and I could tell obviously that it was an AI image, and we had a little discussion about that both internally, and then we took it to our followers and said, hey, look, number one, this is not okay. This is not something that you want to do to try to get, your 15 seconds of fame out of this. But that could be a potential problem. And I know, too, that that's even an issue that the National Weather Service is facing. That's not just limited to us in broadcast. That's going straight to the top.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you have this big platform, 500,000 views sometimes during these big time outbreaks, and you're getting real time information. How do you balance all of it? I mean, you're dealing with the live radar, the storm trackers, the cameras, and then the UGC. Have you encountered AI images, and what do you do in those moments? Because I will say, I have been tricked a couple of times with an AI image. Maybe not weather related, but there's a couple dog pics I get confused.
I'm kind of curious of your process, Ryan. Do you have people that it runs through before it hits you, or does it come straight to you?
Yeah, so we've got some really great, smart people on the team that are helping filter stuff out. But you might not be able to tell you might be able to tell what's AI and what's not right now, but very soon you won't be able to.
Right.
And I think what's going to happen is the UGC pipeline is going to be shut down, unfortunately. And we're going to have to rely on trusted storm chasers that we know and probably trusted networks of tower cameras and stuff like that for our imagery. The technology is so incredible that it's going to be impossible to tell what's real and what's not. So it's just going to have to come from a verified pipeline.
Yeah, James, I know you get a lot of UGC also, so you got to filter that stuff out. I mean, obviously,
look. You got boneheads that try and game the system. They want to be funny men and get their AI images or whatever on here. But the one thing that's helped me at this new Alabama Weather Network we built, I've never had this in the old broadcast world. I've got an army of people in here dedicated full time to UGC. That's all they do during a big outbreak now. One person running the Skycam network. And so that initially is helping me. Used to be just me. If you ever look at those old James Spann severe weather coverage things. I've got the little card out there, and I've got an iPad, I've got a computer, and I've got one other person in the studio. I was processing all that. It's information overload. And so having a big staff is going to help me. But listen, it's frustrating for all of us. Please don't do that. It's horrible. It's the worst thing you can do. Send a fake image to one of us to try and get it on the air. Don't do that. Stop it now, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize.
A school teacher.
They'll listen, I'm sure, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, because we rely on some of these images to then translate real time what's happening. The radar gives us a great picture, but there's nothing like a real picture, emphasis on the real. Quickly, I just want to change gears here and talk about what you guys are doing for your communities. I mean, Ryan, you've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for disaster relief through the Y'all Squad. And looking ahead, what do you see for your organization and how other influential meteorologists can then give back to the communities?
Yeah, we're just going to double down and keep doing what we're doing. In the age of the internet and the way that everything's set up right now, the more attention you have on you, the more dollars you can generate. And that does have negative side effects with people posting crazy stuff and trying to game the system. But it has really positive side effects as well, because whenever we have 100,000 or 200,000 people watching us and a tornado hits a town, we can almost very quickly generate $100,000 or $200,000 in relief for that town. And I would encourage anybody who's planning on doing even like regional level coverage like this to try to convert that attention and into dollars and put it back into the community like that as well.
Yeah, and so that's on the national level. I want to talk to some of you guys that are in the kind of the smaller regions, right? Like you cover a smaller area, like David and Ben. Real quick, because we're running short on time, maybe like 20 to 30 seconds each. How do you guys give back to the community?
I try to work through the churches. I also pastor 2 churches, and they are very, very forefront of helping people who've been impacted by storms, by fires. And it's working through the avenue of local churches here that our organization is actually able to do a lot with helping the community, both before, during, and after severe weather.
All right, actually, guys, we're running a little bit short on time here, David. So I'm really sorry. I was gonna. I know we got about a minute 30 left, but I wanted to just kind of put a bow tie on this here. At the end of the day, why are we all here, right? Because we all do the same thing.
Right.
We're doing live streaming for free. That's the thing that at the national news level, the national weather level on TV. That's what Fox Weather's doing different than everybody. It's a new thing. It's streaming. It's free. That's what you guys are doing as well. And I'm so excited that we're actually getting to work with you guys a little bit, at least talk it out a bit, and hopefully people enjoyed this, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, it may sound cheesy, but we are here to save lives. And I think that fear turned into fascination is what got every single one of us into weather, myself included, everybody that works here at Fox Weather, and even the hypers online. It's the fear into fascination. But here at Fox Weather, I mean, we partner with the Red Cross, and we try and do what we can to then give back to the communities. And so you guys are absolutely amazing, so influential, and you're helping to push forward the real life weather.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how this goes over the next few years. Everything's going accelerated. It's going real fast. So Ryan Hall, James Spann,